So, what a happy day for vape mail. So, last week, and I'm sure me and Faceless are pretty good friends. I had a not a Velo Latina. I had a Genesis that I had picked up in a trade, and it just wasn't for me. So you know, I know Faceless like me kind of does collect stuff, and so I called him and asked him if he wanted, if he was interested in it, and he said, yeah. I said, what you got to trade? And he said, how about one of the new Fectas? And I said, that sounds good. And we ended up trading some other stuff in the midst of the trade. And so what we're going to talk about today is the Fecta from iHybrid Mods, which will be available next week at Wild Valley. And here we go. So, I did this section of this video already, but I did it with a 3-wrap of 26, and it hit so hard that I couldn't do it. Like, I lost a lung. So, I kicked it up to a 3-wrap of 30, and so we're going to have a vape on it before we do the up-close stuff, and so where we go. This is a PG juice, not a VG juice, so that's the lack of the, oh my god, fog machine. But still a very, very impressive vape. So, without further ado, we will go to the close-up. Okay, I've never been really, really great with this up-close stuff. But we're going to do the best we can. And I'm going to show you all the parts that will come with the Fecta. Now, it's called the Fecta because it is a trifecta device. To start with, it comes with a kind of a minimalized version of the newer, I guess, V3 iHybrid switch with the iHybrid logo down on the bottom. So, you got your switch. And you got your tube. Now it's kind of an ergonomic design, I guess, and I find myself when I use it, I find myself kind of putting my fingers in camera, putting my fingers kind of here when I'm pushing the button. I like the design of the tube. I think the machining is absolutely perfect. It is a brushed finish button, polished finish tube, and tank protector, and a brushed finish top cap. So, in putting it together, we're going to go to the button directly onto the tube. And now you run into some options. If you just want to use it as a mechanical mod or a mechanical device, you can take the top cap, which comes with a telescopic center pin. The telescopic center pin goes into the top cap. Battery goes in. Telescopic pin goes in. And you've got a really nice, I actually could take that pin in some more to get that flush. And you've got a really nice mechanical device. You can take that mechanical device and put, I guess, just about anything on it. Let me grab something. So say at this point you've got an AC9 you want to put on it, which is also a 22mm. Now you've got, like I said, it works like any 510 mechanical. So that's the first part of the trifecta. You can use this as a mechanical mod that has a telescopic center pin like any other mechanical that we love that's got a telescopic center pin. Okay, but let's go to hybrid mode. Okay, similar to the Synthesis, this is the Addy. The Addy is very similar to the Synthesis except for it is not set up for dual wicks, and it is, let's see if I can get this right on camera. It's a good like 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch shorter, so Faceless did a good job of being conservative with the space. When you go under the hood, I'll try to get it close for this one. You can either run a single wick, which is the way I've got it set up, or you can run a dual wick. Now, not only can you run a single wick or a dual wick, the way these are set up is they're set up to do left-handed or right-handed. Faceless explained to me that many people who are left-handed has contacted him and asked him if he could just put the screw on the other side of the wick hole to make it easier for them to roll a coil on. So he did that. You've got the screw on the right side on one hole and the left side on the other hole. So right-handed, left-handed friendly, single coil, dual coil. Definitely not a U-wick in this situation because you couldn't jump that positive post. But the wick hole also is quite a bit larger than the Synthesis. I think it's 2.8, maybe 2.9, and it holds about 3 mils of juice. So we get back down to this scenario. This works similar to the Synthesis, that you've got just a screw. So you take this brass screw and it goes right into the addy. And it also is adjustable so you can get to a flush connection on your battery. That was a little too far out. So I'm going to take it in just a little bit more. A little bit more. Now we're flush. Tank protector, which has 3 little holes in it, goes on in just true iHybrid fashion. Now we get to the top cap. The top cap is brush finish, and he did tighten the draw. It is no longer 1.5. Now the draw on it is a 1.3. And I have found myself definitely enjoying the little bit tighter draw because the air chamber in this thing, it is the smallest air chamber I have ever seen. And if we can get down here, maybe you could see it. If you can see where that bevel stops, that's the base of the addy deck. You've literally got less than 1/2 of an inch between the addy deck and the top of the air chamber. So it is the absolute smallest air chamber I have ever seen on a hybrid. See, it should give you an idea how she fires. Well, I got white on here, you won't be able to see that. I mean, it screams. And the wick holes are big enough that we're not running dry. These coils are not going red. I'm just sitting there firing it, firing it, firing it. Vertically firing it, it works phenomenal too. So, that is part 2 of the Trifecta hybrid. So, mechanical or hybrid. Part 3 of the Trifecta, similar to the Synthesis. Say you've got a Caravella and you want to put this on your remember the center pin is telescopic. You just take the top cap off of your Caravella, battery in it, thread it straight on, the Caravella hybrid. Of course, it would look better with the polish tubes if you've got those. So that's part 2 of the Trifecta. Or I'm sorry, that's part 3 of the Trifecta. How about you got a GP PAPS? GP PAPS 18350 hybrid. Another neat little feature. Not only does the top cap work with the Caravella, the PAPS, the Gus, the Bear Brass mods, but the switch does too. So now that gives me an 18350 PAPS hybrid with the Fecta addy threaded directly onto it with a brass contact on the top and the bottom. The only thing I changed was the tube. I wanted to put my PAPS button on here. I could put my PAPS button on here. I can put my Caravella button up here, my Gus button on here. I can use the top cap on this. Now this is the Fecta 510 top cap, which has the telescopic center post. I can take the Fecta telescopic center post 510 top cap. I can put it on the Caravella. I will say I wanted to use my 18350 GP PAPS tube, but I didn't like the GP PAPS center pin design, which nobody does. How about I take my Fecta top cap and my Fecta bottom button, and now I have greatly improved my PAPS. So that's the trifecta and some neat features. So we will be right back. Alright, so that was the close-up. Yeah, I think Faceless, it's an absolute home run for many reasons. I think Faceless did a phenomenal job on this, and it's because it touches so many different areas of vaping. I mean, you know, the top cap and the button will work on several different mechanical mods. The device itself is a standalone Addy, which you'll be making a 510 base for, a standalone mechanical mod, a hybrid in itself. The tubes on it are interchangeable with so many other things. He's going to be making 18350 and 18650 tubes for it. I've talked to him about using it as a platform. And what I mean by a platform is, for example, you know, it's kind of a process going on in designing an Addy, a dripping Addy tank. That'll just thread straight onto the platform. You know, potentially a cardo tank, increased capacity, you know, Addy, a decreased capacity Addy. It's infinitely expandable. And besides the fact that it's an absolutely amazing vape. It is, he did tighten, like I said, I don't know if I said this in the close-up, he did tighten the draw down to 1.3. So for those of you that did not care for the area draw, you know, now there is an iHybrid for you. It is 22 millimeters, so it is very, you know, nice in the hand. The finish is polished perfection. It is everything you would expect out of Faceless. And again, it's an absolute phenomenal job. So with that, one more vape. The iHybrid Fecta. They're going to go on sale next week. I was glad to get one in a trade a little bit early. Glad to get the review out for it. And, man, that's what I got. So, be strong, vape on. It's Jamie JC West. YouTube, Facebook. See you again next time.